Warning, warning, disclaimer. These are all opinions. I repeat, these are all opinions. And everything that I say and that we all say, that is criticism directed at Blockberry Entertainment and not at LOONA. Ta-ta! Hi guys, welcome back to Kpjaw. My name is Jerron. This episode discussion is about LOONA, the visual album, and what we all think would create a good visual album and all the elements like that. So I'm going to have everybody introduce themselves one at a time.
Okay, hey y'all, it's Jordan. Welcome to the podcast.
Welcome.
My name is Carlo. I'm LOONA the Cult on Twitter.
Hi guys, this is Ula.
Well, I'm obviously excited to do this podcast because I like using my platform to kind of just sharing opinions and honest thought about everything happening with, I guess, K-pop and pop culture in general. And I know another thing that I've been thinking about for a while now is LOONA executing a visual album. It's no secret that they have the capabilities of doing it, but I was just curious as to, because I feel like you guys are very knowledgeable on all things LOONA and like other artists you stand. I just wanted to know, like, what do you think LOONA should do or Blockberry should do if they were going to try to execute this?
I think they should definitely try to do it, but not be lazy about it, because I just feel like their recent releases have been sort of like not as good as, like how everyone has been saying from their pre-debut stuff.
Right.
If they're going to do it, they need to like really go in for it and I guess try their best, especially with the photo books too.
Yes.
They need to be really great all around, not just the music videos and stuff. It needs to be great all around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like they should definitely like you said, like go all in terms of fashion, in terms of like the music needs to be there. I feel like they need to have like probably a good amount of producers on this album if they're to do like a visual album, just so that it have like kind of like a storyline or it could just have some variety to it. I feel that would be really interesting.
I feel like if they do it, they could definitely start a new storyline. This could be their platform to start a new storyline with a visual album.
Yeah.
I feel like that'd be a very good idea.
Yeah, I think like when it comes to a visual album, it's really important to have everything connected to each other and to have every single song on the album should be like single worthy, You cannot have something that is just a filler. Every single song counts when it comes to a visual album because you need to execute a music video or a part of a music film dedicated to that song that needs to be as high quality as the others. The entire production matters. You cannot just have moments where you're like, okay, let's just add this to fill this up so we can fill a gap in. Because a visual album should have a storyline, and for a storyline to be good, it needs to be cohesive, and for it to be cohesive, there needs to be some kind of, connection between each and every song, and having a really loose connection takes down the quality of everything. And so you end up something that seems rushed, that seems like you're just trying to milk some money out of it, but you're not trying to give the world or the K-pop industry an art statement.
Right.
Yeah.
I definitely feel like their last releases have been like just lazy, and it's no secret that I felt that way because I've wasted on my past two LOONA videos on this channel. And I feel like, I think it's important we learned that criticism is okay and that critiques are necessary in order for an artist to grow. Orbits can really just be a slightly immature when it comes to things like that because I don't think they can handle somebody critiquing their faves. But I think what they need to realize is that, we also love LOONA as well. And we just want to see the best. And the reason why we can critique is also because we know what they're capable of doing because we've seen their pre-debut process.
Yeah.
Or we have experienced LOONA having amazing moments. I mean, if they can execute something as cinematographically amazing and phenomenal, like say, Let Me In, or an entire, art project or an art piece like Eclipse, then they can come up with something that in their post-debut era. And we haven't seen that yet.
No, we haven't.
We definitely haven't.
Like, even though people try to make Butterfly, for example, like some kind of cinematic or musical masterpiece, when
it was the exact opposite of that. I think it was the exact opposite of that.
Because if you look at the process of Butterfly, we had so many video teasers that could have been, turned into some short film. But we had them, just rush everything in just 3 to 4 minutes. And it was disappointing because I know they were trying to do something with let us, shift the attention from the LOONA girls to the concept of LOONAs of all the world, but at the same time, it is their comeback and they need attention on their own music video, because at the end of the day, what they're trying to do is they're trying to emphasize what the Loonaverse is as a storyline.
Mhm.
And omitting the girls, it also comes back to the whole, I don't know what kind of socio-political statement they were trying to do with the music video, because, it's unnecessary for a K-pop group. I'm sorry to say this, but it's unnecessary.
Honestly, I feel like that I would go in on that topic. But honestly,
Go into everything. I think it's necessary to do that. Not a lot of people have talked about it now in the fandom. And
well, I guess I'll start. So during my reaction of Butterfly, I got a lot of flack because they didn't like the way I reacted. But as I rewatched it, because I have rewatched it a couple of times, because, if somebody is critiquing me or they're saying that I'm doing something, I want to make sure that, what they're saying is true. So as I went back and watched it, I felt like I wasn't actually being as harsh as people made me out to be, I guess.
You literally weren't. There was nothing negative about your face or anything. Everyone was like commenting, "Oh, your face just looks uninterested. Oh, you just look mad already." Yeah. Even though in the beginning you were doing this like fun intro, and then people were saying that your face looked like negative or whatever.
Yeah, it's because people they don't want a bad review or just something that's slightly negative. They just want people to praise their faves, which is quite a toxic mentality.
It is.
Someone has to give your fave a mixed or a negative review, because not everyone would like, your fave's release. There are people who are going to dislike it, and people are acting like Jaron insulted the song, but he didn't. He just said that he didn't like it. And, music preference is subjective. You cannot force someone to like a song when they don't.
You're right.
So, and you were being honest. I don't know why people were being so mad.
I definitely didn't bash the artist itself, because at the end of the day, I know Blockberry is in control of the creative process of music. So I'm critiquing, really, if anything, I'm critiquing the company and their song choices. And what I get irritated about is Blockberry has this tendency to boast about how they have all these songs in their vault, like they have thousands of songs. And I don't understand when you brag about something like that, and then I see the song choices that were picked for the album, it's just like, well, why am I not blown away? Like, why? Like, I don't know. I just don't get it.
And also, why is it from the same team of producers? Like, the entire album is just one people.
And they have so many different people reaching out to them and like trying to get them to work with them.
Yeah.
And I feel like they'd bring really interesting sounds to LOONA.
I mean, from just the Grimes feature, there's definitely a group of like international producers who are trying to reach out to them. I'm sure of that. But where are they? We only see Monotree. And it's not like Monotree are bad, because they already gave us amazing songs.
I agree.
But repetition leads to nothing. And you need to change from one release to another. You need some kind of change. We cannot stay with the same people, because their essence and their magic would fade away eventually.
Right. And that's what my problem was when I think of groups like Blackpink. I feel like they're so talented. Why are they lost in working with only Teddy Park? I don't get that. It's just weird. Like, yes, it's effective. Yes, it sells, but it's just...
They would sell regardless of the producer. Right. I mean, it's Blackpink. And Teddy Park's magic, as I said, due to the repetition and due to YG working with him continuously and 10 years or something, that the songs sound so outdated. Yes. They sound like something out of 2012. This is a live example of what repetition does. And then we have Blockberry working with Monotree and expecting us not to get bored of what they're doing.
Right.
Come on.
And I thought about one of the comments that I got on my Butterfly reaction. They were just kind of mad that I didn't speak about diversity. And it's crazy because I felt like, well, if I would have, y'all would have been mad at me. And I consciously made the decision to not talk about the diversity, because I feel like the way I see racial inclusion and diversity is different than maybe what the other person consider it. I personally feel like diversity inclusion would be integrated more into the storyline, and instead of just showing that, hey, a black girl exists or a woman with albinism exists, or I don't know. That's just how I feel. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Diversity is so easy to pull off. You can make anything look diverse just by casting. It's bare minimum. We are in 2019. Just putting people from different racial and ethnic backgrounds and religious backgrounds background, since there was a hijabi girl in the music video, putting them all in one music video without any kind of context except for the LOONAs of all the world. Okay, I get it. That's the message that you can be a LOONA girl no matter what your racial or ethnic background is.
Right.
But there is no socio-political message behind that. There is no kind of activism, or there's nothing that they're advocating for due to that kind of diversity. It's just bare minimum to claim that this is a political statement when it isn't. It's just actresses and dancers featuring in a music video, and that's it.
Yeah. And like, it would have been different maybe if they would have done street casting, and like, I don't know, it just felt like, you know, they just got models like, hey, we're looking for a black girl, we're looking for a woman with almond. I don't know. It's like, it would have just felt more if it were done in a more street casting, the average Joe kind of way, I guess.
Yeah, and that was one thing that I got a lot of flack for, I feel, with my reaction, just my post on Twitter about things. Like, everyone was mad that I was saying that they should have shown diversity in Korea. I feel like that would have been a more impactful statement.
And it would have. And I still agree with you. I think that maybe colorism in Korea, which is something that they deal with, and then they can tackle the world, you know?
And I feel like the fact that people were like questioning what diversity in Korea, like I feel like that's even more of a reason that for them to show other types of Koreans. Like, I'm sure like they could have streetcast, like you said, and they could have found a Korean person with a disability, a Korean person. They found someone who has albinism. They could have found darker Koreans. They could have found brown Koreans. They could have found black Koreans easily if they would have streetcasted. So I don't know.
And it's not just about diversity. Korea has its own social crisis and own social issues that they could have, you know, featured in their music video. But of course, you cannot do that as a young rookie idol group, because at the end of the day, they are not the ones who are responsible of their work. It's Blockberry, and Blockberry is a corporation. They are an entertainment agency in a huge entertainment industry, and this is basically them risking their career. It's always the socio-political statements that can risk your career. And LOONA are too young to be risking their careers for a choice or for a storyline or for a statement that they are not making themselves. It's the company that it's making that statement. And it's kind of hypocritical. It's just unnecessary. You're an idol group. It's awkward, and it's just, it doesn't feel sincere to me. I mean, I get the girls are like aware of whatever message the music video is trying to give, but it just doesn't feel completely sincere to me, because the company is the one that is deciding on the concept and not the girls.
Right.
I think it's the fact that like they weren't even trying to make a whole socio-political message. It was Orbitz who made it into that, who turned it into that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And Blockberry just rode the wave.
Honestly, yeah. From like Jaden like liking that post about, oh, LOONA including people of color and gay people and LGBT people and
I'm telling you, I feel like those fans are the same people that were brought in by Heart Attack. And this might be an unpopular opinion, but I just felt like when Heart Attack came out, everybody blew it up to this same-sex love story. But that's not what I got from that.
That didn't feel like that. That was not the intention of it.
I never got like lesbian love from that.
And it was never explicitly stated by Blockberry. It was in their storyline descriptions. They're always like, Chu followed Eve. Chu had appreciation for Eve. There was nothing like Eve's and Chu are in love. There's nothing like that in the storyline. And at the end of the day, it's just the fans trying to get into something like that.
And that bothers me because it's like, what if Blockberry does something in the future? Just remember whenever like Cherry had on the bindi, or when they posed in that like racist cafe. What if Blockberry does that again?
Yeah, and the thing is that Orbitz, they claim that Blockberry apologized about that. They did not. They only took them down and did not make any kind of statement.
Right. They only took it down. So I definitely remember that. So yeah, like, I just feel like, you know, just stop painting Blockberry out to be perfect. And I think that's my issue. I just feel like what's wrong with being able to critique that? And honestly, like with this, I feel like I have a platform and I feel like why not use it to just be that one person? Because I feel like no other YouTuber is going to do it for the sake of, I guess, their subscribers and all that. Like, I don't think about things like that. I think about what could be for the greater good of everybody watching my video. And so that's how I go into all my reactions. let's get back to the visual album. So I think we should go into music. I think we should go into music video directing because I think Digipetty, and I think we should all like give our opinion on that situation. And then I guess we can dip in a little bit into like the fashion aspect because I think that's also important to a visual album and just making sure everything's on point.
Examples of visual albums that have been successful. Everyone knows them, but like they deserve the mention.
Of course. Okay.
The first one that comes to mind is Lemonade, obviously.
Lemonade, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Self-titled.
Yeah,
Lemonade.
self-titled.
When I Get Home. Janelle Monáe.
Iona Lee. Hi, who am I?
It's definitely something like if LOONA does do it, they would be the first K-pop act to do something like that. Honestly, can you imagine? And like the thing is though, if they do it, they have to go about it the right way.
If they do it, I don't want it to be replicated really easily. I want it to be exclusively to LOONA.
They can't just give us a lazy like Forever 21 blouses like they used in Butterfly. Like no, like we need some opulence, okay? Like we need some good things happening when they're going about it. In terms of music, I totally feel like this is the perfect time to definitely explore other producers. I myself have gotten a lot of attention of many producers. One of them being Mondo Grosso. That was one of the most recent ones.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, I really hope that goes somewhere.
Honestly, because I'm a big fan of Mondo Grosso. So especially after hearing that LOONA are debuting in Japan, I think right now would be the time to be like, hey Mondo Grosso, we're about to be coming in June. Can you help us out with the title track? Like,
it's kind of crazy that US fans have to like do that and be the sort of promoter for like music or the A&R team to like try to like get producers and stuff. I don't know. I don't think it should be that way. But what would you say to
somebody that says like, let's say a counter argument would be, well, you don't have to do it. I mean, like for me, I just like, I don't even know what to even say to that. I'm just like, well, I like the group and I choose to do it.
Yeah.
And I shelled out money for LOONA. Let's not forget that like people are thinking, you know, we're being negative and all these things, but it's just kind of like, well, I spent lots of money on LOONA. I own every single album by them. So I think I'm free to have an opinion.
And even if you don't buy, like, come on, you just come across an amazing producer and with like listening to their music, you want them to work with LOONA as well. Like this is just us wanting what's great for LOONA. So why are you saying that we don't have to do this? Jaron has the platform to promote this, and it's not like Blockberry aren't seeing anything. They do. They
definitely watch the video.
Yeah, because the Kpjaw is one of the most popular LOONA reactors, if not the most popular. So definitely Blockberry are seeing this, and definitely Blockberry are taking people's opinions into consideration. So if someone has the platform to say, I want LOONA to work with this and this producer, then why not? Why are we still just sitting idle, waiting for Blockberry to put out some music by any producer when I can just be like, hey, there's this producer who's interested with LOONA. Why don't you work with them? It's Mondo Grosso. It's Dark Child. These are like artists with an amazing
notoriety,
resume. They have so many notable songs on their like list. Beyonce, Mariah, Boa, Nami Amuro, After School. Come on.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Like, and I think it's also, you know, it's also important that we do critique these things early in their career before they get so big to where they don't care about critiques and opinions.
Exactly.
Because I'm sure people have been complaining about Blackpink and Teddy, and I really don't think YG cares because that's what's making them money. But at this point, LOONA are kind of like babies in their career that is like, you know, this is the time to be like, hey, change this up because when you get big, I know you're not going to really listen to me.
And I think, like, if you notice, even with the bare minimum effort that's being put into, I know fans will come for me for saying that Butterfly is bare minimum, but like, we have waited 7 months only to get this. I mean, that is bare minimum.
So we had all those teasers, all those, it was like a huge build up to it, and then it was so anticlimactic.
Yeah, half of them are video teasers and made everyone think that something longer than 5 minutes is coming soon, which didn't. So it is bare minimum. And the thing is, with that, they still made noticeable numbers. They had their first entry in Melon at 63. I was like, you know, before the song dropped, I was like, I would be okay with 100 entry, an entry at 100th like place in the Melon chart. But then they entered at 63. They got attention for their choreo. They were trending in search bars. So with the bare minimum, they got some good amount of attention for a group from a baby company and for them to be in the middle of like promotions of big artists. Okay. So when Blockberry gets their, stuff together and give us something that is so, so high quality and so intricate and so immaculate, I believe that they would do amazing numbers.
Yeah.
They have the potential to like blow up because you see tweets about True and some other girls, like tens of tweets with 20K or 40K retweets and likes.
Right.
We just had a viral moment in Korean Twitter that involves True. I don't know. I think it's an Inuyasha.
Oh, yes. From Inuyasha.
Yeah. So the girls have potential, amazing potential. So a work would just give us a visual album. I think they're going to like establish a stable position in K-pop as critically acclaimed artists. I believe that.
I think it would establish them definitely as like real like artists for real. And I was talking about one discussion with Red Velvet. We kind of derailed off of Red Velvet a little bit and talked about like what cool cinematography or like moments Red Velvet has. Then we also talked about other SM groups in general and how I said that FX's Shadow film is like one of the most aesthetically pleasing videos I've seen. So with that being said, I know that the creative director was Min Hee-jin, and I also vocalized on Twitter that once I found out that she was leaving SM Entertainment, I totally feel like Blockberry should hire her.
We also talked about how like me and Joran, we talked about how Min Hee-jin like kind of lost her touch in SM due to repetition. So her changing to another company, specifically Blockberry, and since LOONA already have some, extensive creative direction, I think collaborating with LOONA would bring out something really new to K-pop.
I feel like since K-pop is like on the rise internationally, there's so much room to pave the way and to do new things. It's just like with LOONA, with their whole pre-debut, with it just like being a new concept, I don't see why they're not taking steps to like do even more innovative things.
Yeah, pre-debut shouldn't be the only like innovative thing. And if they could risk 2 years of music that doesn't even chart or sell well, but they're still doing it for the arts and for like the end product, which was supposed to be the debut, if they could like spend 2 years putting out music videos and songs that good, they can pull off putting out an entire album. And actually that was what we expected. We expected a full album with a visual film.
Right. Like,
I expected that.
I expected that for
debut was so rushed. It's felt rushed since debut.
It's obvious. It shows.
I feel like something must have happened after. Something feels off. Like something must have happened at the company because ever since then, just things have been so
things have started getting different once Eve debuted. That's when I feel like something was like weird going on behind the scenes.
And like Eve's debut was late. If anyone was around that, Max and Match, the repackage, kind of the release date, it was really late compared to.
I actually remember that
because if you want a good comparison, if you go back to LOONA 1/3 era, LOONA 1/3 released their album, I think, the end of March. 2 weeks later, we got VV. 2 weeks later, after VV, we got Love and Evil. And
that was weird. That was weird.
We got like 2 weeks between each and every album. No, actually between VV and Love and Evil, there were only 10 days. But everything was planned really well. Every single release was good. I mean,
that's true.
We had like Love and Loopdh hype. The teasers was so good. VV's debut was good. It was really good, actually. I just love the song so much. The filming, the concept, the 90s scene, everything was so good. And then we had their, the teasers in Prague. The music video was like, you can see that it was low budget, but then they also had Rain 51 dB. Like everything was planned really well. If you compare it to Orai Circle, we had Mix and Match, and then it took like really long, like compared to the time between each and every release before that. It took way longer to release Max and Match, and then it took more time to release New. It actually got weird for me. It just felt so weird. Before Cherry's reveal, it took so long to reveal Cherry. I remember that. It got so people were like, where are the teasers? Because it was so weird. Everything before Cherry was so systematic. Ever since Heejin until Jinso, everything was so systematic. I remember not complaining even once from Heejin until Jinso. And I was following LOONA really closely. And then when it got to Cherry, it was so weird because the release, her reveal was like, it got so late. And I think it has something with casting because remember the ginger head girl, if you you remember her, the red-haired girl?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There has to be something about casting back in the day. And then when she was revealed, the teasers were so low quality. Remember, we had only one color scheme, just purple and white. It was so weird.
So, like, do you think that there was a last-minute member change, or, like, what do you think?
Oh, definitely, because none of the people in the LOONA TVs are even in the group.
Yeah.
Like the red-haired girl.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what threw me off with the whole debut process was there was no build-up to it. There was no, like, special teaser. There was no, like, little film or movie or anything.
Nothing.
It was literally just that one teaser.
And we just,
favorite,
like,
and that was it.
Just that favorite, and those ugly-ass teasers. I cannot.
And even favorite was confusing, because everyone thought that was a debut.
That was confusing,
It was just sort of messy.
They should have made it like a double title track and just dropped
There was
it both
no
on the same
announcement.
day.
Like, this is what we built up to over 2 years.
2
that was
years? And you expect me to be okay with that? Absolutely not.
Like, do some media play, release some articles that LOONA would release a pre-debut single called Favorite, and then their debut will be this and this and this and that on this date. But, like, we were just waiting for them to mysteriously release the teasers. We just knew nothing that was going around.
Well, see, it really just falls back on the A&R team of Blockberry Creative. I totally feel like Jordan said this to me, and I believe you said something along the lines of you feel like the A&R team are just really old and they're just outdated.
I do. I feel like the A&R team, not even just the A&R team, like the stylists, the makeup artists, I feel like they just have a team of people who don't have a vision of the future of LOONA. They just know what they know. And then they had so many things that they could have played off of if they were to do a visual album, like with the LOONA girl colors or like their animals, just the lore in general. But like with Hi and Favorite, there was no story whatsoever. There were no references to pre-debut.
I think it is with
there were, but
the butterfly effect storyline. It would have been amazing. Like, and they could have like turned this into a whole new storyline that is just different from the Looniverse, but like kind of connected to their old storyline. Utilize this opportunity in coming up with a visual album because it is a good storyline. Like the butterfly effect ruins everything, and they have to like fix this all up. It sounds like a good storyline. It does.
I feel like they tried to maybe insinuate that with the little teasers, but I mean the teasers were so vague and they had nothing to do with the music video. They're pointless.
It didn't go nowhere.
Teasers
they were just pointless.
Yeah.
That was just a waste of money.
What I'm holding on to is that they might play something into Cinema Theory, but even that I don't think.
But like,
they
what's
might,
the point?
Because they're just
like Cinema Theory. It's been like almost a year since the first one, and there were no like significant additions to that except just a few. I don't know, the Go On and Chew Seesaw video. That's it. That was the most notable one. And even when it comes to that, you cannot just hide all of this and just wait for people. We've been waiting an entire year for the new footage. By the way,
Right.
I don't know when are they planning to release it. Probably never. And I don't want to see that. I don't want them to have a visual album just to add videos from the year 2016. I don't want that.
Listen, I totally agree.
And they definitely need to branch out with other music video directors.
Amen. Amen. No, wait a minute. That took me out of my professionalism. I'm sorry. I don't care what Any Orbit says. Yes, DigiPetty did what they had to do for pre-debut, but it is time to expand. It is time to grow.
Like DigiPetty's whole point is to make something that is short but impactful at the same time. It's just
LOONA needs long videos to convey.
I mean, it's fun, making theories on Twitter and stuff, but it's not enough, and you cannot just expect your fans to just keep on dissecting the same 10-second video every single time. The thing is, I think most K-pop music video directors don't have, that ability of turning. I mean, they do. I mean, because at the end of the day, they are all directors, but I haven't seen something really long from a music video director, except for maybe back in the day, Tiara, when they had really long music videos.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say.
Or BAP. I think BAP also had really long videos as well.
Like at the same time, the way that they were filmed, they were really good. At the same time, with the filters and the filming, that was so long ago, and it just looks outdated. So I don't know who Tiara worked with. I need to dig this up. But LOONA needs to work with someone who is able and capable of pulling off something that is longer than 5 minutes, because people were expecting something at least, as long as Tiara's music videos way back in the day in 2010 and 11. People are like, we want something that is like Tiara. So,
and they it kind of made us think we were going to get that with the teasers. So that's why I was really disappointed.
Yeah, it was so disappointing. And it's not like long music videos isn't something that has never been done before in K-pop, but an entire hour, for example, like Lemonade, like The Dirty Computer, Iana Lee. You don't have to be a major artist like Beyonce to pull this off. I mean, Jana Lee doesn't even have that much of a fan base or a following, but like Iana Lee and her audiovisual project, I Am I, Who Am I, they just put high quality music videos, regardless of what attention they will be getting. They didn't get that much attention, but at least they put out something that is impactful. And if you come across it on YouTube, for example, you would it would leave you thinking of what did I just watch, you know? And the thing is, LOONA has the platform. They are in a K-pop industry, you know, they can just take advantage of any time that is just kind of empty or people are waiting for new music. Like, for example, summer, you know, early summer or late summer as well, or any point like September, for example, just release something this big and people are like, okay, what is going on? What is this group and why are they releasing something so big and so beautiful?
Yeah.
They just need good planning. And the thing is, with a visual album and with any great album, it needs time. You need to sit down.
Of course. They need to plan for something like that a year in advance, maybe more.
The thing is with Blockberry is that I don't know I think someone just said it, that they just accept music. They don't reach out. You need to like go to where the producers and the composers are and sit with them and be like, I want this and this and this, and work with them. Like if they do something, follow up with them and not just expect an entire song to be thrown at you.
I think like, you know, I'm like really passionate when it comes to like production and like what goes into music and how it's being crafted and created. When I think about like how Blockberry refuses to create a song versus just accepting those demos, it makes me upset because I feel like, well, what if Dark Child wants to work with LOONA and they want to sit in a studio with them and kind of get to know them and create music? Because I've heard many different stories of how some of the biggest hits were created in the studio, and it really takes for the producer and the artist to kind of get a feel for each other's energy. And like, I don't know, it's just...
I believe like the LOONA girls themselves, they have so much in mind. They've already seen interest for producing music. I just believe that it's so important for a producer to sit down with the girls and be like, okay, what do you guys think is good for y'all music-wise? Right. Because I know they're idols. Their job is just to take the songs and perform them, right? But like sitting down with 12 girls is a lot of information to take in.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can sit with them and discuss with each one of them what they expect of their music. And the thing is that the LOONA girls, they have good taste in music. We have seen their recommendations. They're amazing. We already have an example of composing. If you remember, Choose pre-debut composing, like those audio clips. We already have that. And it's not for the sake of adding their credits, in the album. It's for the sake of making something that everyone is satisfied with. The girls, the company, and the producers. Because it's important to have all that. So you can like give the audience something that is a collection of many creative people's ideas. It's really important to have something that is just based on so many people's opinions instead of just relying on like three Monotree staff or just relying on Jaden Jung and that's it. You can't do that.
It just won't work.
Because Monotree have a series of how they made LOONA songs on YouTube, and they were like, you make a song, we send it to Jaden. Jaden's either like, this is so bad or like, this is so good, I want this for LOONA. It's just that is the communication between them.
You know, there's certain songs in their discography I'm just like, what was
the vision behind Beauty and the Beat in general?
Yeah, let's talk about that album.
Beauty and the Beat.
Weakest album. Easily.
No song sounds connected to the other when it comes, and we're going to address this later on. At the same time, there is no theme.
No theme.
Literally, there's no theme.
What is the
like
theme?
Love and Live and Love and Evil had a theme. It was like a 90s bit type sound.
Mm-hmm.
Mix and Match had a theme.
Like an R&B, like 2010.
Futuristic.
It had this futuristic feel to it as well. Like
when they were like, Love Forever is a throwback to G, it's like inspired by G. I was like, okay, so this album is going to be
save that for debut? That's what I'm talking about. Like, it's just some of their decisions. It's just
like what I was expecting that the album would sound something like, an ode to late 2000s K-pop that started the whole wave of, the Hallyu wave. because like Mix and Match was, reminiscent of 2010's R&B electronica sound. And then you have Love and Evil giving you this orchestratic late 90s pop sound. I was like, okay, so they're going to reach for another time period in music, and that is the late 2000s in K-pop. And I was like, okay, this is going to be a really good album, just like Mix and Match and Love and Evil. And we did not have that. It was just felt directionless. There was no point of the songs at all. But they were like, One Way is a ballad that was going, because LOONA is giving you a ballad album in May 2019. I was like, okay, why are you doing this to YYYY? This is not LOONA the ballad. This is YYYY's debut album. And you're just giving us a taste. I don't want the taste
I don't want a taste.
I want to listen to the ballads when the time for LOONA the ballad comes. I don't want you to fill up YYYY's album with a track that just
but they have all these songs that they have kept in that pretty vault. They have so many songs. But
when they started with Eve, there was a theme. The Clueless uniforms were like, okay, there will be a theme of some sort. But like with every release, it just became more and more vague. You just don't know what's going on. And then they were like, no, it's going to be a reminder of G. And I was like, okay, so now we have a theme. And then you find out that there is no theme at all. And it's just a bunch of filler songs on someone's debut album. Very, very disappointing. I just feel so sorry. The strongest point of your whole album is the Grimes feature.
The feature that wasn't even supposed to happen in the first place.
Right. The feature that came last minute. Let's not forget that.
But they have everything planned out and they can't change anything last minute.
I feel like Orbits are so blind to this that if this is not talked about enough, nothing's going to change.
You're right.
Yeah.
If this is not talked about, then it's getting the same results, and I refuse. The entire fandom can literally have knives to my neck, and I'm still going to keep saying what I'm saying. Honestly, at this point.
I just don't want 1,001 butterflies after this. I don't want butterflies to be their sound.
Okay, so that's going to be my next thing, because obviously it's no surprise that Butterfly is a very boy group-ish-esque song, and it makes me think that like this isn't the first time that Blockberry has like asked for song from a producer to make it sound like a boy group song. And I wanted to know like what are your guys' thoughts on that strategy? Because I remember they said Chaotic was a song that was meant for their boy group.
What was that?
So here's my thing. So I think that was just a project that they were going to do had LOONA flop. Because LOONA didn't flop and they did get so big internationally, I think the boy group was kind of put on hold now, and they're just like, wait, let's see how far we can go with this LOONA thing. And so I think that's what they're doing.
Like after Audio Circle's popularity, they kind of stopped talking about it. That
seems about the right time.
I totally forgot about them.
The thing is, when they were like, they didn't say that it's a boy group sound, but like fans were like, oh my god, the boy group like sound thingy. And I was like, it's not like we have so many boy groups with great music out there. We have the girl groups are the ones with better, music. And this is a fact. We see it on the charts. We see it when it comes to music critics. The girl groups are the ones who come up with good music. And I think it's all about that choreo being a boy group level choreo. You can have a strong choreo, a strong girl group choreo, without it having any kind of boy group. You want to look at something that is so strong. Let's look at After School. They tap danced, they pole danced, and they had one of the most difficult choreos in K-pop, but they weren't a boy group. You had, back in the day, I remember I Got a Boy, One Girl's Generation. They were high for having a strong choreo, and the same thing with the boys. Right. They weren't boy group-esque songs.
I feel like
to me, it's just cheating to me. It's cheating like you're trying to do this boy group sound, and so you're trying to almost like mimic a sound that can't fit a group like LOONA.
But there's so many like boy group songs that are actually interesting and actually like unique. Right. But they went with this sound.
But it sounded something like the Chainsmokers would put out.
It sounds like Chainsmokers. Like, it sounds like Diplo. Like it's just very like a dated EDM sound.
And then like for them to say that this is like a new sound that's never been done before in K-pop, it's just like
it's been done.
A bold-faced lie.
It's been done. And like even though there is a difference, I compared the two to Singing in the Rain and Butterfly, and like I told Jordan like Singing in the Rain wasn't like my most favorite solo in the world.
At least it has like a structure to it.
But there's a structure and it's more like complex.
There's a build-up.
Like there's things I like about it. So Butterfly, there's nothing. And honestly, that was like a video that anybody could have edited, by the way.
Why didn't they have a scene where like they as a group were dancing and they had
that would have
models that they
more
were
a
featured
message
dancing
of like
with them?
of LOONA being united with the whole world.
Yeah.
Like they spent all that money flying the girls out for the teasers. Why didn't you fly them out for the music video?
And not only that, but when I saw the girls react to Butterfly, it was almost like they didn't even know that there were going to be models in the video.
They probably didn't.
They didn't, and so that's what I'm saying. Like they're just trying to like Orbits are trying to paint this thing about like this is just so art, this is personal, this is that. Like the members didn't even know based off of their facial expressions. They're just like who are these girls?
Oh my god!
Move on to a brighter note. I was thinking of like people that should join their A&R team. It was no secret that I said that I think Min Hee-jin from SM Entertainment to join Blockberry, but you know, I know this is another stretch, but I also thought about one of Beyonce's team members, which I believe her name is Yvette Noel Schur, and she's behind a lot of Beyonce's projects that involves keeping a secret and stuff like that, just dropping things out of nowhere. Like she would be good. Hungry, a stylist, should be a part of their official team because I feel like Hungry would take LOONA to
they're
the
gonna
next
attack
level.
you for that because she's a drag queen.
Oh,
remember that one comment where they're like, "Why would you want a drag queen to work with LOONA? Like, why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't we want a drag queen to work with LOONA?
If they're so inclusive."
I know. I thought this was about inclusiveness.
Like you can't say LOONA's so diverse, and then when it comes to like asking for a drag queen
And
to
even
work
then-
with LOONA, you're like, why? You were just bragging about LOONA
And
being
even-
diverse, like being inclusive, and then when we want someone who is like a minority, like when we want LGBTQ people,
Right?
you're like, why? Come on, that makes you
Right.
Even like separate from Hungry's
hypocritical.
identity, like their art is so beautiful.
Beautiful.
So like, why wouldn't you want that for LOONA? I think
Yeah.
it's just Orbit's mindset of like trusting Blockberry and like letting them do whatever they want.
Well,
like, no.
I'm not that person.
I am not trusting any corporation. I'm not trusting any
Thank you.
corporation in my life. I'm here for LOONA, but I'm not here for Blockberry because at the end of the day, all they do it for profit, and I'm just not here to trust them. If they want me to trust them, I'm going to trust their art if they put out something that is good. But like till the end of the day, I won't trust Blockberry. I wouldn't put my trust in. You can't ask me to trust a company that at the end that is just giving you something.
Right. I'm a
I am
customer.
the
Damn it.
customer here. Okay, I am the one who's supposed to expect something high quality. I'm not going to stick with something low quality because I don't feel satisfied with the end result. So best believe I'm going to move on to someone else. And so that's why it's your job as a company to work on giving people the highest quality. And the thing is, like they have this thing where, okay, people accept anything, so I'm just going to give them because at the end of the day, it gives me the profit and it makes people buy it no matter what. I don't want that to be the mindset of Blockberry because I've seen it happen to my other faves. I've seen it happen to Girls' Generation for years. I mean, like they always got least or the worst creative direction in SM was given to Girls' Generation, and SM never cared because they bought the music regardless. I don't want that to happen to LOONA as well. I don't want them to be the victims of mediocrity because their company know that people.
I don't either.
I don't want that for them.
That's like the biggest flaw with K-pop as like an industry is that with the company system, there's no room for like personable art or like something out of the box because the companies just want money at the end of the day and they're going to do what makes them money, which is, I feel like Butterfly was the most generic thing they could have released, the most money grabbing thing they could have put out.
I know you guys like have like a long, like, or not a long list, but I feel like you guys know like who like would be like a great asset to Blockberry's team. Like Carlo, like what do you think?
We talked about like new producers and like I've showed you Cowgirl Crew.
Yes.
I feel like indie artists bring more to the table and they have more of a creative outlet. They have lots of ideas. They want to like express themselves. So I feel like new producers, like underground artists have lots of ideas that they could like potentially bring to LOONA.
I agree. And also speaking of Cowgirl Crew, you did show me Cowgirl Crew, and when I ended up messaging them, they also, we had a nice little conversation about like LOONA and stuff, and they also was willing to work with LOONA, and it's just kind of like, damn, like you have all of these people that are at your disposal that are willing to work with you, be professional and say, or just accept a demo. Like if that's what you want, just ask for a demo, like I don't,
and the LDN mess,
London Noise, God. Oh my God. Now, London Noise can give them a title track that'll probably blow up, and yet you're not doing it. Crazy.
I don't know. I think they might have had the album done already, or it's just sort of crazy crazy how like they didn't respond.
It is. And like, for all the people that's probably going to comment, well, how do you know they didn't respond? I DM'd London Noise myself and asked them, had Blockberry got in contact with them, and they said no. So yeah, it's just crazy. But Jordan, who would you like to join Blockberry's team?
I do know that, or someone like reached out to the photographer who did like NCT's, I think it was the Irregular album. I'm not sure. They said they were open to working with LOONA, and they even like DM'd Jaden Jong, and Jaden didn't respond to it. So I would love to see them.
He didn't DM Jaden Jong. He DM'd me. I DM'd Jaden Jong and me since. But
And like, did Jaden like open the DMs?
I don't think he never does.
He never opens, but like at least I did my job. And we already like we announced that on Twitter, and we were like, hey, this like photographer wants to work with LOONA, and I sent them an email as well. We had like a 2-hour conversation about LOONA. I told him everything and explained the whole thing, and he was like, yes, LOONA needs better visual direction because their music is good and they definitely can pull off something bigger than what they're doing. And the thing is, like, when it comes to the photography, it is the weakest point.
It really is.
Yeah.
I think
it's
that's where
it makes me so
goes, because I know pre-debut was a serve, but
Yeah, I think if we're talking about adding people to the creative team, and like, I definitely have a lot more people to name off, but I also want to give you guys the opportunity to name specific artists and like maybe people from that team, like you would want.
Okay, so I got put onto ASL a few months ago by you, Carlo, and you, Jerron. And I remember, like, I think you guys messaged her or something, and then she, like...
Yeah, Jerron did.
What did she say, Jerron? I forgot.
I believe she was open to the idea and ended up liking it, and yeah.
I think that would be a good way to, like, play off of the whole dream pop thing in K-pop, because she makes dream pop, like, that's her genre. So I don't know why they're trying to make, like, I feel like they're trying so hard to kind of replicate dream pop with, like, XX with, like, Butterfly and, like, Satellite, but why don't you just get a dream pop producer? Like,
but
Rhymes,
the thing is, it's not
ASL.
proper. It's not proper dream pop, though. That's
Really?
the thing. And I think the most authentic form they've ever replicated was probably with Lunatic. Yeah, and even with that, like, Lunatic would have been better with an actual dream pop producer. And I actually thought it was the way it was mixed was actually pretty good from Monotree, I believe. But yeah, I think
that's like literally my favorite LOONA song. Lunatic.
Yes, I love Lunatic.
And people, the thing is, like, Orbit hate it for sounding so blurry. That is the point of dream pop. And then you go on and name other songs dream pop. It just doesn't make any sense. Come on. If you want dream pop to be the genre that LOONA, incorporates into their music, you need to like the OG, the most dream pop song on LOONA's discography. It doesn't work like that.
I remember, like, weren't they trying to make that one preview from LOONA the Ballad? They were saying, oh, this is a dream pop song.
Stop laughing. I was literally embarrassed. I was so embarrassed for them. Let me think of other people. Let me get their name. Carlota Guerrero. Their work with Solange is like amazing. Like, I've been a fan of theirs ever since The Wedding. Yeah, and they also did like another cool piece for, I believe it was for Givenchy. It was like Mysteries of the Night Garden.
And also, I wanted Emmanuel Adjei to work with LOONA.
Yes.
The last music video that they put out was, I think, Sabdeli's Asharaman.
Yes, and I love that video. I love it. I'm like literally screaming. I'm screaming because
it's insane. Like,
her videos are awesome.
A music video that phenomenal. It's insane.
Yes.
It's insane.
Another music video director who I really want to like see LOONA work with is Jonas Ackerlund. I think he's a Swedish he did Haunted for Beyonce.
Okay, that's one of my favorite Beyonce videos. Okay.
Yeah, he's a really good Swedish director. I feel like they should work with him.
Think of other people that would be cool. I also thought that
Jessica
God, I'm sorry. Like, I literally like LP1 is one of, if not my favorite album cover of all time. Boots? Yes. Oh my god.
Boots? Mm-hmm. I wish Boots, but like Boots is so like picky.
Yeah.
He doesn't work with, I think Christina and Lady Gaga, also Britney Spears, they requested to work with Boots and he declined. But like, that would be so cool. Like, okay, let's do girls who have so much potential and just work with them because they already have their, but like, he's so picky. And like, for someone who already worked with Beyonce, kind of choosing
Beyonce.
Wow.
Yeah, he worked with, I think, Beyonce and FKA Twigs songs and now he's working for money.
Yep.
LOONA have so much to play off of,
like,
though. I feel like probably be interested in them.
Yeah, I don't know. He's so.
Also, I wanted to I ended up talking a little bit about this the other day, Steph and Mackie, and how like they could, be a part of the concept art of music video promo shots and stuff. But I also talked with Jordan and thought it would be cool if maybe they created even an album cover, like if they could draw something and make it very like an artistic cover with their faces and like involve animals. I just felt like there's new ways that you can even utilize artists. And that's even going back to Hungry, where I always felt like they specialize in looks that involve insects, bugs, sea creatures, stuff like that. And like, how do you not take advantage of an opportunity to work with somebody like that for a concept called Butterfly? There's just so many creative things that I feel like Jaden and Blockberry.
They have so many opportunities to like push the boundaries and go outside the box, with LOONA being a new group with their concept being so interesting, but they just choose not to. And it's just disappointing and sad, so.
It is.
We also need the Struts. You know who the Struts are?
Who's that?
They produce Disco Tits for Tovolo.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They're Swedish.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of Swedish producers are really good.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Yeah, and like K-pop groups work a lot with Swedish.
Yeah,
SM.
I think SM works a lot with
Yeah.
them too.
Like you need to pick the right ones, because for example you have Daniel Caesar and Ludwig Lindell, and their music isn't that great.
Yeah, they were dancing in the rain.
And new.
And also Mjolgi, and like Mjolgi it's like my least favorite LOONA song.
Really?
I don't like it. It's just I feel like it's so outdated.
It really
like,
is, especially in this whole like tropical house wave. It was.
But see, I'm gonna have to disagree with you, Jordan, because like yes, Yogi has elements of tropical house, but I feel like it's more progressive.
I think it's good tropical house. It's good tropical house, but it's still tropical house with LOONA.
Yeah, but like you need to choose the right Swedish artists. And the thing is, why don't they like work with North American producers? There's a really good bunch.
They have the connections.
There's a lot of.
They're always boasting about their investors.
Like
too.
The best producers out there are the black producers. So why don't you work with them? Like you have, for example, Dark Child wants to work with LOONA. Come on.
Hello.
Seriously, they have amazing music, and like we're trying so hard. Like I've seen you guys and some trolls like
Emily. Emily was really trying about getting
Emily
Timbaland.
is trying so hard. Yeah. And the thing is, like, it's not impossible. Timbaland already worked with Eric Nam before, so why wouldn't he work with LOONA? And it's like I've already mentioned this. The way he puts out his music, it never sounds outdated. He always sounds ahead of his time every single time. And like if we look at something that is popular and recent, if you look at say Partition or Blow, he's been in the game for like since the 90s or the 80s. I'm not sure, but like every time he produces something, it sounds so ahead of its time, and he still has the magic.
Yeah,
come on, work with him.
I
please.
think like especially Timbaland really hits close to home for me, because one of my favorite artists of all time is Aaliyah, and they had a powerful partnership. And it's almost kind of like with LOONA and Monotree, but the difference is Aaliyah and Timbaland, they just made a sound that I could still listen to the song to this day, versus with Monotree's tracks, I can't do that.
I think it's like Monotree, they work with so many people for so many years. Like the sound kind of gets the same. I don't know. I mean, they're really diverse with their genres and everything, but like tiring. Like,
because they do have this signature sound though that I noticed.
Like when it comes with Timbaland, if you notice, from every now and then his sound completely changes.
Depending on the artist.
He has the range. There's like a lot of range.
And like he literally worked with Bjork on Volta.
Earth Intruders.
And like I've never heard Timbaland really go out of his comfort zone to do a song like that. And like I'm just like, wow, that's versatility right there.
And the thing is, like, we would have understood Monotree like go out of, their signature touch, on the music. Like, for example, people like Arca, and the way Arca, their music, how it sounds on their own productions versus Bjork versus Kelela versus FKA Twigs. It just sounds different.
Each
and every
artist. Exactly.
They don't want to work
but
with
like, for example, if they don't want to, but like, for example, if you want to look at Monotree, Hi, and, another release that sounds, similar to Hi is Dugan Dugan by Promise. Like, Hi sounds like another variation of Dugan Dugan.
Yeah, I could see that.
Like, you don't see the differences from one artist to another. It's just like the same stuff because like it's in K-pop, everyone's like, the companies are like, we want the song that sounds like this. They're not like, we want this and this and this in the song and this and like there is no conversation. There's no detailed conversation with the producers compared to the Western scene.
But do you feel like that's changed as LOONA have progressed? Because I feel like when you look at things like Let Me In and like Eclipse, I feel like the relationship between the producers was stronger there.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Like, but Eclipse and Let Me In had different producers. It's by Daniel Obi-Klein, and Let Me In was Mono Tree. But at least you can see the difference. We want Charlie back.
We do.
She's a LOONA girl at this point.
Right.
I think Love Cherry Emotion was produced by Mono Tree. I don't remember.
Oh no, it's produced by Ali Pop
or something.
Okay. So songs that sound like they're from Mono Tree. Example, Vivid and Let Me In. There is like a huge difference between those two songs.
Yeah.
And like you can see that there is some kind of communication with the producers compared to their latest album compared to XX. Everything sounds the same. For real, like all the songs, they sound like one really long song.
Oh my god. Yeah. Those are such cool points. I think what needs to happen, like I said before, if they just add fresh new faces, fresh out of college, young, innovative people that are here to create, was destined to do art, then I feel like they need to expand their team because the team that they have now it's not working anymore. You're right.
And the thing is, like, when it comes to XX, the other day we mentioned that XX is more cohesive than Plus Plus, right? But at the same time, we just realized cohesion isn't everything.
It's not. It's not.
Yeah, and like, if you have a cohesive album without a theme, it just sounds like one long song, and that's what we had
XX suffered from that.
Compared to like Max and Match, it was a cohesive album, but it had a theme, and that's why every song just stood out. In order to have cohesion, there needs to be some kind of individuality to every single song, and we did not have that with XX compared to Max and Match and Love and Evil.
Not at all. So
yeah, and like that is so important for a visual album. You need to have an album that is cohesive, but like it has a theme, and at the same time, there needs to be some kind of individuality to every song. Every song should be single worthy, title track worthy.
Absolutely.
For it to be. And the thing is, even with the ballads in a visual album, like well, let's look at Beyonce's self-titled. It starts off, I don't know if I can call Pretty Hurt a ballad, but like Lemonade starts off with a ballad, and it's a really strong ballad for
my favorite song off of Lemonade. It had impact. Yeah.
Pray You Catch Me. Just like you're like, what is going on? Like, what is this album? What is this? Even with Pretty Hurts, like Pretty Hurts is like about, dismantling this whole thing about, how society views beauty. I don't have to go through all this to be pretty and stuff. Like, that would be a great way of being an activist as well. Starting off something with a strong message that gives the album an introduction. Like, it feels like it just gives you what the rest of the album would sound like.
Yeah.
Not like musically, but from a message point of view, because both of them, they had a message. And the thing about Lemonade that I really love is that the whole theme was about cheating, right?
Yeah.
Like, the thing is that every song, it just represented like a phase of going through this experience. Like, first of all, it started off with Pray You Catch Me, where she was like, what is going on? I hope this is not real. And then it went on to Hold Up, and this cannot be happening.
Right.
I love you more than anyone else, and this just cannot be happening. And then it just proceeds and climax, and then it goes down, and like she's in peace with herself.
Yeah.
The same thing, like there wasn't so much of a storyline in Beyonce's self-titled, but at least there was a theme.
It was a thing. It was a vision.
And the thing is that it was a visual album in the sense that every song had a music video. Blockberry, like they have two choices: either to have a visual album in the sense that it's a film, an hour-long film, just like Lemonade and Dirty Computer and Everyone Every Got It, or they can have like every single song has a music video, but there is a distinctive theme, like B-Day and self-titled.
Yes.
At the end of the day, there has to be a theme, and you can choose the storyline or not choose the storyline, but at the same time, it needs to feel like this is one body of work.
Yeah.
When it comes to Beyonce's self-titled, it was about embracing your sexuality and loving yourself.
Yep.
Basically, there was a theme.
I think what was cool about self-titled specifically had a different director, I believe, for every video, and yet, like, it still all flowed together well.
And it still felt like, okay, this is one project.
Right.
This is something really challenging to pull off. off, and it's like really needs them to be involved in the work for it to work out.
I think, obviously the debut has happened, their first comeback has happened. Now I think that what they need to focus on is their first full-length album and how it does need to be a visual album. I strongly believe their first full-length album should be a visual.
A visual album, yeah. And it's, the thing is, like, we can wait. You don't have to put it out so rushed.
We don't want to rush.
It doesn't have to be so
We
rushed.
don't want it rushed.
You don't have to listen to the, like, fans demanding new music. You can, like, I don't know, give them, like, a single or two in the meantime, but, like, you need time to cultivate this and, like, plan something so huge. It's really a very career-defining or a career-breaking
right.
When it comes to this. So, like, you need a lot of planning.
And also, they could really, since they want to go the whole, like, diversity route, they could really build a storyline off of uniting people together. And maybe in a year or two, I'll take back my comments. But until then, I stand by.
And I feel like with the way that things are going right now, it feels like they are putting things out too fast and not really thinking about the releases and, like, playing things out. With LOONA the Ballad already being planned out.
That's insane. And not only that, I want to piggyback off of that, Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
LOONA the Ballad is their last OT12 comeback, and they said they're going to focus on solos and subunits.
That doesn't feel right to me.
There's just really no direction.
There's no direction. Like, why are they meeting with the French directors? Like, yes, BBC said that they were working with French fashion directors.
They met up, like, recently.
Well, I hope that it gives us something at least.
Yeah, I mean, I hope it gives us something. I don't know, it just seems so all over the place.
What I find funny is that LOONA's and Polaris' parent company, Revoir Entertainment, know that OT12 is underdeveloped, and they agreed with the critic that, like, stated that. And I'm not sure what they said exactly, but they might change things after Butterfly promotions. But they also said, like, that's where the news from the French directors and, like, the Japanese debut came from that article.
Oh, yes, that same article. You're right. You are right.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, they just need focus, and, like, the fact that they're going back to solos and subunits is, like, that's not what we need. You guys need to make an impact as a group before you go back to solos.
Right, like, what?
Like, they need, like, at least 3 more years to, like, go back to that. Like
as much as I love Odd Eye Circle, I can wait, because they need to be successful as a full group, and they can bring that success to their subunits. It's just, I don't know.
Also, they need time to plan things out and, like, have a concept ready. So what is this?
They definitely need a bigger team.
I'm kind of scared of, like, what they're gonna roll out if they're doing, like, subunits, like, Yeah,
that scares me. That really does scare me.
And then when the subunit blows up, they're going to rush and OT12 come back, and the cycle
it continues.
It's just, wow.
If they do the day and night unit thing, I can see the day one getting really popular, and then they'll have to, like you said, rush a comeback so that there's not more inequality with the girls.
No more, please. I can't deal with the subunits right now.
No, and, like, the thing is,
it makes more division.
It does. It really has created division in the fandom, and I talked about that in my problem with LOONA Blockberry video, how I feel like the Orbit fandom is so divided, and it's really...
And the thing is, people say that, like, there are, focus on Odd Eye Circle solo fans, but, like, YY by Y
they have the biggest, loudest
ever. YY by Y.
In Korea, especially. No. I know back in the day, we had Odd Eye Circles, we had some bandwagoners that were, like, we had a lot of trolls, and if you remember people, they were absolutely terrible. But we know who's who right now, and most of them are gone by now because the focus isn't Odd Eye Circle anymore.
Yeah.
But, like, YY by Y actually brought ad gay fandom both in Korea and internationally. No one acknowledges that because Chu is the most famous member overseas.
Is she considered the most?
I thought it was
kind of overseas, not in Korea.
Overseas. Okay, yeah.
And in Korea, actually, it's kind of arguable that Chu is the most popular. Like, Heejin is because she gets CFs and stuff. Mm-hmm. But, like, Chu is the one who's viral.
Yeah.
Chu is the one who gets fan and stuff. At the same time, I don't know, I don't care about who's popular and who's not. But, like, we know that there are way more YY by Y solo fans than...
Absolutely.
Especially even Chu. No one wants to admit it, but, like, that's the thing. And it's not something we don't see. We have seen YY by Y fans, Korean fans kind of shading Gyojin and Vivi.
Oh, yeah.
It's not right.
They don't, and Hassel as well. We've seen it. We've seen, like, stuff like that. No one wants to admit it. And we're just, like, focusing on Odd Eye Circle fans because there's a bunch
that's the easiest target.
Like, hey, one thing that irritated me for the rollout for Butterfly was how the teachers only focused on YY by Y members. That got on my last nerve. Because this would have been such a good opportunity to, like, have something for 1/3 the newer fan, or, like, to create, like, a story behind them. But they just chose to do YY.
It felt like they were, like,
I think it's because...
compensating for the shelf repackage.
Yeah.
It just felt like that.
But even then, that's not enough for me to, like, be satisfied with that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, all the girls deserve teasers, not just YY by Y.
And then for the
like
teachers to not be even included in the music video, it just seemed pointless to me.
It seemed very pointless.
Okay, if YY by Y got some compensation for their repack, what about Yeojin? We haven't seen her.
That's what I'm saying.
Since January 2017.
Yeojin literally and I don't know if it was because of the injury, but when I saw her reacted to Butterfly, she just wasn't feeling it. I saw it on her face, she just wasn't into it.
And the Kpjaw stuff.
Oh, that was a mess. See, and one thing I wanted to talk about was I saw that everybody was blaming Kpjaw. So I thought about why isn't nobody blaming Blockberry? Because they're the ones. Where is the communication?
There has to be some kind of communication with
even though
that always seems to be the problem.
Kpjaw, yes, they are in the wrong, but let's not act like Blockberry don't have communication issues, because they do.
They're literally closed off to everybody.
Everybody.
From the fans, from producers, and now obviously the album distributors. It's always the problem, the common denominator here, and I don't know why they don't look at that and reflect on themselves and fix it.
1/3 compared to now, it's so humiliating.
Oh my, please.
So, guys, I hope that you all enjoy this very constructive conversation between 4 orbits of color.
Yeah.
And we all had very cool perspectives of how we think what needs to be changed in Blockberry. So, yes, do you guys have any final words?
Yeah, thank you, Ula and Carlo, for talking with us and everything. I just feel relieved. I feel like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders. So thank you guys for your eloquence and your thoughts and your knowledge and everything.
I feel like talking about this is really good. We just need to know how to bring this up and make this more of a bigger issue, because we obviously care about LOONA a lot, and
instead of worrying about a fan cam.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jordan. Thank you, Jerron. Thank you, Carlos, for having this conversation. It just means so much to me that other people they resonate with me on what I think about LOONA, and I'm just so thankful because I've been trying to message LOONA's team about their fashion ever since April 2017, and so it's been so long for me. I've been trying, like Jordan said, a weight has been lifted off my shoulders, and I just want the best for LOONA. That is the same for all of us.
Thank you, everybody, for joining me on my podcast. Yeah. I'm very happy with how everything turned out, and I really hope that everybody else enjoys it. I'm gonna link everybody's social media in the description down below if you guys want to follow them and get to know them more.
Thank you.
So, yes, with that being said, I will see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.
Don't worry anything tonight. I'll be there like moon.